if we take our original income of 100,000 euros per year and subtract the 2,900 euro loss, your taxable income is reduced to 97,100 euros. Lastly, and this is the most important part, which I will talk about in more detail in this video, Germany offers some really attractive tax benefits, specifically for property owners. And these tax benefits can be even more impactful when you're earning a good salary. Hey, what's up guys, Hans here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into a subject which is probably on a lot of your minds if you're working in Germany and if you're earning a good salary here as an expat. I'm talking about how investing in real estate could help you significantly to reduce your taxes and make your hard-earned money work even harder. I'll walk you through exactly how this works, what tax benefits are available, and what you need to know before making this kind of investment. So if that sounds good to you, let's jump right in. So before we start, let me just give you some quick information. In the past, there have been several people approaching me on how to find suitable apartments over here in Germany to invest in. In that case, people weren't really able to find anything on Immobilien Scout or whatever German website. If that is something you would be interested in, and if you need consultation with that, I can help you find suitable apartments to invest in. Reach out to me via email. You can find my email address down in the description. But that's it. Let's start and get into the video. First, why should you even invest in real estate as an expat? And for that, there are a few solid reasons. For one, Germany has a very stable and resilient real estate market. Home ownership rates are lower over here than in many other countries, meaning rental demand is considerably high, especially in larger cities like Berlin, Hamburg, or Munich. This high rental demand creates an opportunity for investors, especially for those of us working here with a stable salary. Plus, if you're planning on staying in Germany for a while, investing in property can act as both a wealth building tool and a way to establish roots in this country. Lastly, and this is the most important part, which I will talk about in more detail in this video, Germany offers some really attractive tax benefits, specifically for property owners. And these tax benefits can be even more impactful when you're earning a good salary, since they reduce your taxable income, meaning less tax paid overall. So let me get into what these tax benefits actually look like. Now let's talk about the tax benefits themselves. In Germany, there are several ways owning property can reduce your tax burden, and I'll break down each one of those. First, interest reductions. If you finance your property with a mortgage, you're in luck. The interest you pay on that mortgage can be deducted from your rental income, which reduces your taxable income. This is particularly useful if you have a high income that would otherwise be taxed at a high tax rate. For example, if your annual mortgage interest payments come to around, let's say, 5,000 euros, you can deduct that amount directly from your rental income. Second, depreciation, or also called AFA, as we say in German, the Abschreibung. Depreciation or Abschreibung is one of the most substantial deductions available to property owners in Germany. It allows you to deduct a portion of the property's value each year as the property sort of wears down over time. This typically means a deduction of 2% per year if your property was built after 1925 and 2.5% if it was built before that. So as an example, for a 250,000 euro property built after 1925, you're looking at a 5,000 euro annual deduction. Not bad, right? Next up is the reduction for repairs and renovation costs. This can be particularly useful if you're buying an older property that needs some work to be done. While significant renovations that increase the property's value may have tax implications, regular repairs and maintenance are generally deductible. There are also some things you have to keep in mind. For example, you can only deduct roughly 15% of the property, and I'm talking about the building value here, not the ground on which the house or the flat is built. For example, just the building value overall, you can only deduct 15% of those within 1 year. If you go above that threshold, you would need to depreciate these costs over a span of 50 years. But let's make an example here. Let's say you spend 1,000 euros on minor repairs throughout the year. That's an additional 1,000 euro you can subtract from your taxable income. Now, managing a property requires time and often additional costs. If you hire a property management company, their fees are, for example, also tax deductible. This could include anything from finding tenants to handling repairs and the payments. For example, if you pay 500 euros on these management fees per year, you can deduct that amount also from your income. And lastly, now let's talk about other deductible costs. Let's not forget about smaller costs that can add up over time. This might include real estate agent fees, legal fees, and even some travel costs related to managing the property. For example, if you're just taking the cab or taking a train to wherever city you're going, where you bought your apartment, you can deduct those fees also from your taxable income. Every euro deducted here counts toward reducing your taxable income, which can add up to a nice sum at the end of the year. In fact, there are also other costs you can deduct, just as, for example, your cell phone contract, any particular real estate subscriptions you might have, for example, for some sort of tools, let's say Microsoft Excel or Word or PowerPoint. I'm sure you could deduct those. But also, for example, your smartphone overall or your laptop. Now, to really show how these deductions add up, let's quickly go through an example. Imagine you're an expat earning 100,000 euros per year, and you're considering buying real estate, let's say an apartment worth 200,000 euros. Let's assume you're financing the property, which you should do, with a mortgage, and you will be renting it out for 800 euros a month. And I think, or I'd say that's probably a good case, a very, or rather realistic case. With those amounts. Let's first look at the rental income. At 800 euros per month, your rental income would be 9,600 euros annually. Since rental income is taxable over here in Germany, this amount will be added to your total taxable income. But don't worry, this is where the reductions help to reduce that tax impact. Now, let's calculate the deductions you could claim. If you're paying 5,000 euros annually in mortgage interest, that's a direct reduction from your rental income. You would also claim a 2% depreciation on the building value, as I have described just now. So if the building value is around 200,000 euros, you're looking at 4,000 euros annual deduction. Now let's add in a few standard costs, 1,000 euros in repair, 500 euros in property management, and 2,000 euros in other miscellaneous deductible expenses. So that totals to 12,500 euros in deductions. If we subtract these deductions from your 9,600 euros rental income, you're left with a net rental loss of 2,900 euros. Now, if we take our original income of 100,000 euros per year and subtract the 2,900 euro loss, your taxable income is reduced to 97,100 euros. This loss can be offset against your main salary income, effectively reducing your taxable income. Now, let's talk about the nice German word Grenzsteuersatz, as we call it, also called marginal tax rate, which I'm sure you've heard of before, which is key to understanding how tax savings impact high earners. In Germany, your marginal tax rate is the tax rate applied to the last euro of your income. For example, if your income is taxed at a marginal rate of 42%, and that is usually the case if you earn more than 70,000 euros per year in Germany, every euro you save in deductions effectively reduces your tax liability by 42 cents. So in this case, your 2,900 euros deduction at a marginal tax rate of 42% results in tax savings of about 1,218 euros. This is why these deductions can be particularly useful or beneficial for higher income earners. The more deductions you apply, the more tax you save at a higher tax rate. But as promising as this all sounds, it's important to weigh the pros and the cons. Here are some things to keep in mind. As always, the property location and the value. Location is crucial as it will not only influence the rental demand, but also the property's long-term value. A high demand area may cost more initially, but will typically yield better results, and with that, returns on your money. Second, market volatility. While Germany's real estate market is stable, it's always essential to consider the long-term investment. Property values can fluctuate as with any other asset class, so it's a good idea to plan for long-term gains rather than short-term profits. Third, maintenance costs. Real estate isn't a set it and forget it investment. Unexpected repairs can come up, and while some of these costs are deductible, they can still impact your cash flow. Fourth, complex tax rules over here in Germany. German tax law can be really complex, and the rules for deductions are usually no exception. Consulting with a tax advisor can be incredibly helpful to make sure you're taking the advantage of every benefit without accidentally overstepping tax regulations. And then lastly, long-term commitment. Real estate investments require time, both to see appreciation and to benefit from tax savings fully. If you're considering to move back to your home country within a few years, you might want to evaluate whether this is actually the right choice. And that's actually it for today. I hope this gave you a clear picture of how investing in real estate or an apartment over here in Germany can work in your favor. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to follow my channel here on YouTube. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find my email address down in the description. I also offer consultations on how to find your first apartment. So if that is something you would like to look into, let me know via email.